You're listening to the Happy Workaholic podcast. I'm your host, Kellyanne Gorman. This show was once about business, LinkedIn, and my life with an autoimmune disease. And then one day I found out I was misdiagnosed, so I had to switch things up a bit. Life is so short, and when you're given a second chance, you better believe I'm going to take it, celebrate it, and share it with you. I'm on a mission to help women take their business and life to that next level they deserve to be at. This show is intended to elevate your mind, upgrade your business, enhance your life, and become part of a positive and uplifting community. Inspiration, motivation, and determination are what got me to where I am today, and I cannot wait to share these amazing stories of other female entrepreneurs who will be featured on the show. If you have a story or brand you want to share, send me a message on Facebook and Instagram today. You can find me at The Happy Workaholic. I would love to connect with you. Do you want to live chat during this episode? Make sure you're listening on iHeartRadio. I'm here to remind you to work hard, stay humble, follow your dreams, and never, ever give up. Thanks for taking the time to subscribe to the Happy Workaholic podcast. And now let's get into today's show. Are you someone who enjoys a schedule? Are you obsessed with that new planner of yours? Do you love the feeling at the end of the day when your to-do list is checked off? Maybe you're ready to get super focused in your home and work life. Well, my friends, I have just the gift for you. I've created some business, mindset, and organizational tools that are available for you today. Simply visit thehappyworkaholic.com and sign up to receive my weekly newsletter. Once you confirm your email, those tools are sent your way, as well as a link for you to join my exclusive Facebook group, the Happy Workaholic Network. This is a community for women who want it all and deserve it all. It's a place for you to meet others just like you, to share what you have going on in your everyday life. New business, new baby, new recipes, new workouts, and so much more. It's all allowed because, as I always say, sharing is caring. The Happy Workaholic Network is also the home for the conversations to continue after each episode of the Happy Workaholic podcast. If this sounds like something that you want to become a part of, then join us today. I cannot wait to see you in the group. And don't forget to tag me on Facebook and Instagram at The Happy Workaholic when using your tool so I can share your work on my stories. Hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new show for the I Chose This Life series. As a business coach myself, I love interviewing other coaches. And today for the series, I am going to share my good friend Cheryl Thacker with you. She is such an inspiring coach, and I would really love... Cheryl, are you here?
I'm here. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, welcome to the show. I would really love it if you can introduce yourself to the audience and share with us what kind of coach you are and how you got started.
Okay. Well, first, thank you for having me on the show. I'm really excited.
Of course.
And I am a business and wellness coach and also a recovery coach, but I'll tell you a little bit about that later. But basically, my company is Successful Coaches Enterprise, and I partner with emerging coaches and entrepreneurs to basically take structured action to define and scale their business. And I also help them to reach their personal and professional goals. And then we have that health and wellness and balance in their life piece that I add to my coaching. I also have a non-profit called Recovery Nation. And that's where I have a team of coaches and volunteers. And we help people with addiction and their families to use a health-based model of recovery to basically transition into a healthy life. So I've been doing this for over 10 years, and I love what I do. I have different pieces to my business. I also do some training at a coach school, so I help people become certified as coaches. And I'm a mentor too, so I help them to get their credentials. I hold a credential through the International Coach Federation and a credential through a board certification through the Center for Credentialing and Education. So I love coaching, been doing it for 10 years, wish I had been doing it my whole life, and and that's where I am. That's what I do.
Now, what inspired you to make the transition into coaching?
Well, I had actually had a nervous breakdown about 15 years ago, and I was working between 50 and 70 hours a week. I was raising 3 boys by myself. And God just kind of said, "You're done." And he kind of took me down, and I was not able to work. I was not able to do a lot of things. And so I realized over the about 2-year period that it took me to really get back to health, that I couldn't go back to that kind of a life. So I started looking at, I was doing some web design and graphic design, and I found a Recovery Nation which needed some help with their website. And from there, I just built a relationship with the owner and started helping out on their website, and just really enjoyed the kind of the coaching side. I wasn't a professional coach at that point, but I enjoyed the coaching and the mentoring that was happening on the website more so than I was enjoying the design part of it. So I kind of started gravitating towards that, and then something happened to the founder. He actually passed away suddenly, and the family asked me to take on the website and take on the program. And so I realized that I needed, direction and guidance. And so I went looking for, ways to become a really good coach. And I found World Coach Institute, which is where I received my certifications. And I just went for it. I became a coach. I got certified. I kept going back, getting more certifications, became a master coach. I just loved it so much and knew that that's where I was supposed to be, and that my past experiences really added up to me being a well-rounded coach. And that's where the decision came that I was where I was supposed to be, and I was working towards that my whole life.
You have quite a set of credentials. That's so amazing. Now that you have your own business, and, we do have, as somebody that also runs an online business, you do have those crazy weeks where you're just slammed with clients, and you do have those 50-hour, 70-hour, sometimes more work weeks. So how do you set up your own schedule? Like, how do you plan out your day, your content for the week? Do you work certain, for example, I do certain projects on certain days. So how do you set yourself up for success so that you don't have a crazy, intense, stressful week? What's your schedule like?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I actually schedule to my strengths. So I don't take clients before 10 a.m. because I'm just no good at that point.
I love that. Me either.
Yeah.
No one wants to hear my voice at that time.
Right, absolutely. And especially not see my face at that time either. So I have set hours for my clients, and I just schedule them between 10 and 4 or 10 and 5 on a couple days a week, just to get those later hours. But I have set schedules for my clients when they can set their appointments. And then I have kind of content days. So Mondays are no good for me to be writing. So I usually pick Wednesday as a writing day, and that's when I'll do content or emails or what have you. I have Thursdays as my social media day. That's where I do my lives and my trainings. I do a lunch and learn on Thursdays on Facebook Lives. So I basically have everything scheduled out so that I'm not going to be too swamped. Of course, like you said, it does happen occasionally. Mm-hmm. And then I'll just build in more time for self-care. So I have my morning routine built in. It's time, it's scheduled. I have date night every week. I have fun night with family and friends on Saturdays. So I build in my self-care, I build in my clients, and I build in my content creation and marketing. Everything is built into my calendar so that I can make sure that I'm balancing everything and also making sure I'm getting things done.
I love that you're building all of that in. I actually told somebody yesterday that I built in my shower. I had to take a long shower. I just needed one of those days, and it was pouring rain in San Diego, which is like rare, although lately we've been getting a lot of rain. But I will always get up like early and shower first thing, but I just needed like a DIY spa day, and I'm like, yep. It just had to be built into that schedule.
I hear you, and I'm the same way with like getting I like to get mani-pedis, or that's kind of my spa day type thing.
Oh yeah, I love those days.
Yeah, and if I'm really stressed, I am putting it on my schedule, and I am actually making the appointment instead of doing like a walk-in. So this way I'm, doing it every 2 weeks, and I'm making sure I'm taking care of me. So I understand that completely.
I just feel like, don't you feel like you're such a better person for others when you take care of yourself first? A lot of people don't realize that, but it's so true. And I never used to think that way.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, one of my affirmations this week was that I take care of myself before trying to help others. And it's absolutely the truth. You cannot show up your best self unless you are your best self, right? Unless you are taking care of yourself.
Exactly.
So very important for those self-care routines.
Now, I know that I want to talk about keto. So I know you're really into keto and meal prepping because I obviously follow you on Instagram. And I was doing that like for a little bit. So are you really into like the meal prepping? And share with us how that's kind of helped you with in your personal life and how it's made you better for your business.
Yeah, so meal prepping is awesome. And I definitely...
So good.
I definitely advise it or suggest it for people, especially, if you're working outside the home. A big benefit is working at home, of course, that we can kind of work around that a little bit better than people that work outside their home. But meal prepping on Sundays for the week, it makes everything so much easier. I don't have to worry about what am I making for dinner, or, is it a rounded dinner? Is it a healthy dinner? What have you. So when we started keto is actually when I started the meal prepping, except like when my kids were young, I did meal prepping as well. I used to cook and freeze stuff and take it out. But lately, in the past 10 years, it's only been since I started keto that I really do the meal prepping. And so some days I will make our breakfasts for the week and freeze them so we can just pop them out. I make partial dinners or, just get the prepping part done. I'll cut all my veggies. We'll do the food shopping. Things like that, just to and put them in the container. So my partner just grabs his on his way out, grabs his lunch, that kind of stuff. And it just makes life so much easier. And the keto diet itself is, I love it. I love, although I do love carbs, but I've just learned to eat them in moderation so I can stay in ketosis, but I do take vacations from it.
I love vacations. I love it. No one's ever used that word. I'm totally stealing it.
Well, I'm Italian, right? So I have a very big Italian family, and I'm chefs and caterers. I used to be a caterer, and so carbs are a big part of our culture as well.
And the garlic bread. Oh my God.
Yes. Now I don't eat too much pasta at all. I'll eat spaghetti squash, but yeah, it's it's just I do take the vacations and have carbs once in a while, but just eating keto has given me energy, mental clarity, and besides which, helping me to lose weight and lose fat, and it just has a ton of different medical health benefits. And for my partner, it took away his snoring, and sleep apnea was gone. It lowered his blood pressure. He came off his blood pressure meds. I had already reversed my diabetes with a Mediterranean diet, but now it's just my A1C is so much better on keto. So, it's just, there's so many benefits health-wise, and then energy and mental clarity and focus as well. So the meal prepping and the food is just really made a big change in our lives.
Now, do you do a bulletproof coffee in the morning? What's your morning routine like on your work days?
I don't do bulletproof coffee. I'm actually a decaf coffee drinker, and so coffee is not real important to me. Mm-hmm. I don't eat a whole lot of caffeine just because I stopped caffeine when I had my nervous breakdown because of the anxiety. Mm-hmm. So I just don't do that. But my partner has his bulletproof coffee. But my morning routine is I get up and basically I'm journaling. I'm doing my meditation, which is more like visualization for me. And then I do my affirmations for the day. I look at my calendar to see, what my appointments are coming up, and I kind of reflect on what I need to, how I have to be prepared for those appointments for clients. Or if it's content day, I'll start making notes about what content I'm going to be creating that day. But I just take it easy and just, I do have my decaf coffee, but I also have my 25 ounces of water as soon as I wake up, and just relax, really. And I'm usually still in my room, my bedroom, so I don't actually worry about coming out until I've done all that, and I'm really set for the day. And I find that prepares me mentally, emotionally, and physically for my day. And then I have a night routine as well, where I journal at night and really relax and think about, meditate what happened that day, and the kind of what I've learned or what stood out for me or what inspired me for that day.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I feel like routines just really set you up for not just a successful day, but just to get like you into the right mindset for whatever you have to take on. Like for me, depending on if I have to produce podcasts all day or if I'm coaching one-on-one all day, like I really need to take it easy. And I've learned that through, coaching. And in the beginning, I would just have my schedule all over the place. And now that I'm doing a lot of one-on-one coaching and a lot more producing, I cannot do those projects on the same day. They have to be separate. And if I'm talking to 6 to 8 women a day, my morning needs to be full of meditation and journaling and just relaxing.
Yeah.
Because,
absolutely.
As coaches, we have to speak to our clients in a way that they would understand it, and that's different for everyone. So we really need to take the time to prepare our calls and prepare for each individual that we're working with, which I don't think a lot of people understand how hard that is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a process, right? It's like anything else, getting prepared for. So, and each client is different. So it's not like you can say, oh, I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3 with every single client that I had today. It's not going to work that way. So yeah, you got to take that time to really meditate and think on, what you have to do and how you're going to.
I love my morning routine. I was doing my walks in the morning, but now, which I really should get back into, but lately, I've been doing my sunset workouts, but then I'm up till like 2 a.m. because I'm like all fired up. So I really need to start going back to my morning, having my iced coffee and doing my walks. Now, when do you think that, or was there a certain point in your career or when you just started on the coaching or something that you can really remember it stood out, when you just stopped and you were like, okay, this is why I chose this life. This is why I'm coaching right now. This is it. This is the reason.
Yeah. So when I was thinking about that for a while because, the name of your podcast, I chose that one. So I was thinking about that, and really, I don't know if there was any one moment. I can say that it was probably after I started healing after the 2 years, and all of a sudden, although I had tried to make time, of course, for my kids all the time, trips and stuff like that, when they're in school, but all of a sudden, I had the freedom to become a PTA mom, classroom mom. I was able to take vacations when I wanted to. Like I realized that not only do I not have to keep somebody else's schedule, but I have a whole lot of freedom, and I really like it. And I said, this is it. This is so I can choose. And even in today, without my kids being little, I'm going to have grandkids. I get to travel. I have a partner that loves to travel as well. I get to choose when I go out and, socialize or network or, whatever. I have the freedom and the power to do what's best for me and mine. And that's why I feel like that will shift. It shifts over time. But I think in that first kind of year of freedom, I realized, yeah, this is it. And this is why I chose it. And I get to help people on top of it. So you're like, it's a win-win.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I feel the same way. I love the freedom. I love that we can change our schedule how we want and still be able to help as many as we choose.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of advice would you give somebody that's looking to start coaching and go through a certification program?
Well, I would say first, for a certification program especially, make sure that you research it and it has what you want in it, because there's a lot of ones out there that are kind of the quick certifications. They seem like they're great because they're inexpensive and they're quick, you get them fast. But you want one that's really going to give you the skills that you need. It's going to give you some chances to practice coaching, practical, applications, that sort of thing. And I'll just plug World Coach Institute because I do teach there, and we have a really good program. But any program that you're going to go into, just make sure it has the main components of what you need as a coach to get that certification, get that practice, and get feedback as you're learning. And then the next step is when you're building your business, to really look at that structure, because people tend to think, well, if there's structure, then I'm not having the freedom I want. But the truth of the matter is that through structure of your business and your activities is how we get freedom. And that's something that I wish I had known from day one. It took me a few years to really have that sink in and learn that. And it's something I would have known from the beginning, is that creating that structure and really looking at what we can plan actually gives us the freedom to do more and to experience more and to help more. So that's kind of what I feel I would have wanted to have known beforehand about building my business, and also to get a mentor or a coach. That took me about 6 years or 5 years, actually, before I got my own coach. But once I did that, things sped up really quick. That'd be my advice.
I love all of those tips. Thank you for sharing that. I say that all the time. Every coach needs a coach. And until I started investing in a business coach and a life coach myself, it just opened my eyes to things that you would have thought I should know. I thought I already knew, rather. And I get to look at things now from a different perspective. And we always want to learn something different and from a different angle. So I love it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I always have a coach, and I think it's just so important. And I have different types of coaches as well, mindset coach, business coach. So it's important to develop ourselves and to keep ourselves on track as well as to learn.
Exactly. So we're the best for all of our clients. Now, how long does it usually take to go through a certification program like the one that you have?
We have it's basically 8 weeks, 2 nights a week for 3 hours. So it's 16 classes, 3 hours each. That's a 48-hour course. And that's certified through the International Coach Federation, so that you have the hours that you need for credentialing if you ever decide to go credentialing. So I would say, anything less than an 8-week program, I feel is not giving you the time really to learn and digest and practice and apply.
So it's 3 hours a week, twice a week.
3 hours a night, 2 times a week. So 6 hours a week, basically, for 8 weeks.
Oh, wow. I think that's a great schedule.
Yeah, it works out pretty well. You can do it. You have choices of what nights you do it. We also have an intensive. You could do 48 hours in 6 days. We run that twice a year, but
that's so intense.
Yeah, that's for the people that are really gung ho.
They are ready.
Yeah, they're just ready to go and move, charge forward.
Now, what kind of coaching specifically are you? I know that you're making some changes in your business, and what are you offering right now with your coaching programs? What are you currently working on? What are you launching?
So, my Master Year Coaching Business Boot Camp is becoming my signature program. I've run it twice so far, and so I've made a lot of tweaks to it, so I'm really happy with where it is now, and so I'm going to launch the next boot camp at the end of April. And I'm really excited about that. And that's basically 12 weeks of, what you need to do to set up, scale up, and, really profit on your business. And also to make transition from part-time to full-time. That course will help you there too, that boot camp. But what I'm working on as far as developing is I'm a big proponent of emotional intelligence. I am actually certified to give the EIQ assessment. And so I'm really excited that I'm creating a course on how to use emotional intelligence to get unique results with your clients. That will be launched in September. So that's what I'm in the middle of creating and refining right now.
That's amazing. That sounds so interesting.
I really like it. I enjoy EIQ, and I feel like there's actual science behind it that the higher your EIQ, the better coach you are. So that's what I'm trying to do, is to have coaches really learn how to increase their own EIQ and then how to use it to help their clients get unique results. I think it can make the difference in the business, definitely, and definitely in your clients' lives and successes.
Now, when you get ready to launch a program and then you launch it and it's super successful, how do you celebrate your wins and your goals? And
so I have a few things that I like to do to celebrate, but I always do something with my family and my partner. So my partner and I will travel somewhere. We'll go away for a weekend. We'll hit a great restaurant. We'll drink some great wine, and that's kind of how I like to do that in music. I love to be around music. So basically, good food, good music, good wine, and good people. That's my biggest way of celebrating. And then on a different scale, I like to get a massage, a facial. Sometimes I'll get my makeup done for me, things like that to make me just feel more, I want to say more special, or just to feel more like, hey, I did something, I hit a marker, I hit a milestone, and here's my kind of reward, or here's my feel-good activity from just myself, what I wanted to do for me.
I love that, and I actually agree with all of the above. All of the above mentioned. The food, the music, the wine, the spa. Oh my gosh. Now, Cheryl, where can everybody find you on social media?
So I'm under Coach Cheryl Thacker on Instagram, and then Coach Cheryl on Facebook. And, of course, my Business Successful Coaches is on Facebook as well. And then LinkedIn as well, Coach Cheryl Thacker. So basically, anywhere you put up Cheryl Thacker, you should be able to find me.
And your website, too, of course.
Oh, and my website is successfulcoaches.com.
Ladies listening, I will put all of the notes, all the links in the show notes for you. So please connect with Cheryl if you're looking for anything we mentioned in the show. She's an amazing coach. Cheryl, thank you so much for being on today's show, and I'm so excited for everything that's coming up for you.
Oh, thank you, Kelly. I enjoyed being here so much.
Thank you so much for listening to today's show. If you liked this episode, please share it with someone who you feel needs to hear this message. And don't forget to tag me at The Happy Workaholic on Facebook and Instagram so I can feature you on my stories. And if you have 2 minutes and listening on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, I would love it if you could leave me a review. Those messages mean so much to us podcasters, and they really help me create more of the content that you'll love. Want to continue today's conversation? It's simple. Head to Facebook and search for the Happy Workaholic Network Facebook group. Answer the questions and you're in. For more information on myself, coaching programs, weekly newsletter, and more, visit thehappyworkaholic.com. The Happy Workaholic Podcast is part of the iHeartRadio Podcast Network. Be sure to follow the Happy Workaholic Podcast on iHeartRadio or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. I hope that your day continues to be happy, healthy, positive, and productive, and I'll talk to you again soon.